And
so how does it figure that out?
it takes information from the battlefield. It takes information like the health of my platoon, the overall health, the overall shield strength, DPS, all of that information that a player would be looking at, the AI is also going to be looking at. It takes it for my platoon, takes it for the allies in the area, and then it takes that information for the enemies in the area, feeds that into a neural network, and the neural network comes out and says, hey, here's your best action. The best action could be attack the weakest target, because if you perform that action, then it's going to turn out in your favor. Even if you lose the platoon, you may have taken out like one of their like giant, really expensive units in the process, and that's good for you, even if you lost the platoon. Or it may be that there is no good action to take, and you need to run away. And
so you say that you feed this stuff into the neural network.
yes.
So as most people know, now everybody should know this, right? Neural networks need to have like a training phase of some
Yes.
sort, typically before they output useful stuff.
Yes.
So what kind of technique do you use to actually train the neural network?
Well, for Sprint Commander 2, it was basically just letting the AI play against itself. You get a small map, you get one AI, another AI, have them play against each other, and that's how they learn. They learn by trial and error. They'll pick a random action, say, I encounter this platoon randomly. I'm going to choose attack the weakest target. Oh well, that was a bad decision. We shouldn't have done that. So that gets trained down. Like we won't do that again in that same circumstance. Or it could be that it was a really great action, and then it's going to get trained that you should do that in those circumstances that are similar. And then over time, it just kind of learns what it should do when, and it doesn't have to be like the exact same circumstance. It's able to infer things based on what it's learned from playing the game.
So everyone in America drinks out of red cups at parties. Did you know that?
No. It's a party?
It was a party.
I want a red cup now.
Okay, so I'm curious if people have any AI questions since you're on here. I see some questions scrolling by, but I haven't seen anything AI specific. Yeah, what's the deal with the red cups? I was sitting here with the red cup going, oh yeah, these are Costco cups, and everyone buys all their cups at Costco because they're cheap.
Do I need to train every single unit or just unit types? Actually, it's neither. It's not units types, it's not every unit.
Right?
It's essentially just stats. It boils down to stats. It doesn't care what the unit is or anything like that. Why isn't your AI as good as the ritual? Yeah, thanks, Skathis.
Oh yeah, nice one, Skathis.
Who wrote that AI, Skathis?
One could argue that, well,
yeah.
Anyway. How do bombers compare to tanks, though? So that's interesting. It's the same thing, right? The general idea with area commands is, imagine you have a platoon of tanks, you say, attack this area, and then the idea is the tanks should optimize their performance to blow everything up in that area. Same thing with bombers, same thing with anything else.
Right.
I think area commands are going to be pretty damn cool in this game.
I'm really looking forward to them.
It's all about command and control, right?
Being able to build things in an area, or reclaim things in an area, or attack things in an area. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to give a lot of control to the players. And
what about building AI all for air, for example? Go for the first plane, then they see 100 missiles, miss everything. I'm not sure that question actually makes sense, but I think what he's trying to say is, can you just train the air specifically?
Oh yeah, we did that for Sprint Commander too. Yeah, you have to. I mean, you really do. It's each of the neural networks. There was 4. There was a neural network for land platoons. There was a neural network for naval platoons. There was a neural network for bomber platoons, and then there was a neural network for what's the other? Just like fighters, air versus air platoons. Well, the AI, yeah. Yes, the AI should be.
No, actually, I think that's an interesting question. The question is, will the AI not be retarded? And the simple answer is, the computers are retarded, at least currently.
Yeah.
So of course the AI is going to be retarded. It's a computer. You're always going to be able to find some way to exploit it. But,
potentially.
But for the average person that's playing the game, it will kick your ass. I'm
hoping.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I think you know how to make that happen.
Yes.
I think the AI question that's a lot more interesting, and instead of asking, will the AI be able to kill you, it's, is the AI actually fun to play against?
Right.
And I think that's a much bigger challenge than making an AI that will kill you.
Right.
And it's also a challenge to do it when it doesn't cheat.
Yes.
You know,
That
I'm
is-
not a fan of cheating
Oh, yeah.
AIs.
Yeah, if I could make the AI cheat, I mean, sure, it'll wipe the floor with people, but you know, we don't. That's not fun.
So will we be able to use slow as shit crawler bombs like the Roach? I love crawling bombs. I don't know. You probably haven't ever. Yeah, crawling bombs are pretty
no,
cool.
No, they were. What was it? Was it Forged Alliance, one of the expansion packs or something that had the crawling bombs or something?
I like crawling bombs.
Those were fun, although they weren't useful in that particular game because they weren't balanced all that well, I don't think. But yeah, they're definitely fun.
I really hope the AI doesn't prematurely use actions to counteract actions of the player without vision. Is that the same thing as he's saying about with cheating?
He's basically saying cheating. Like if you start building a nuke launcher underneath, with no radar or vision coverage or anything like that, then the AI shouldn't know that you're building a nuke launcher.
Right. So,
and I totally agree, unless there's an option there for giving that information to the AI, then that should totally be available. If
Right.
you want the AI to cheat against you, then it really should.
yeah, some people want it to be even more challenging.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I think the AI should scout.
Yeah.
That being said, the AI is much better at scouting than a person.
Oh, rubber banding AI. Absolutely hate that. That's just frustrating. That's not fun.
Because you can never win.
Yeah.
The only way to win the game is to never play.
To never play.
Will the AI learn during alpha beta? It'll come online in there sometime, I'm sure.
The game really needs to start to solidify before I start doing neural network training, or else I'm just going to end up retraining and retraining for bug fixes and that sort of thing.
That's a question. How do you limit the AI for different difficulties?
Whew, there's been a lot of discussion about that. There's various ways we can do it. Spring Commander 2, it limited the cheating by you could give a different resource, basically giving it a what is that called, a handicap. You could give it more resources, less resources per second than a normal player. Giving it full map vision for a full map radar. But there's other things you can do, like you could limit like actions per second or something. That gets a little more complicated, but that would also effectively limit the AI's difficulty. Also, different abilities, different tactical decisions could only be for the higher difficulty levels. There's a lot of ideas floating around for that.
So, a question, how do you train tactically complex units like the Commander? You generally don't train individual units like that, right?
No, not normally. No, that'll probably just be handled in code somewhere. If there's like specific abilities or something that need to get used, it won't necessarily be a neural network. It might be, I don't know. I'll have to determine that later.
Can you give temporary sector control to AI? Say if you're looking at another planet, you can't cover everything. Say, so you don't get annihilated while looking somewhere else. That's not really part of the core game design. We have talked about some ideas of, in single-player mode, being able to have the AI play some stuff for you.
Right.
But when you're actually playing the game, you need to play the game. Now, I want the units to be smart enough that playing the game is pleasant.
Right.
For example, somebody asked if anti-aircraft flak would distribute against across the aircraft, and I would hope that we would make the flak smart enough that it's actually coordinating and useful.
Right, yeah, like if you build like a bunch of flak next to each other, that they kind of intercommunicate and like, okay, I'm going to take that target, I'll take that target, I'll take that target, and just go. There was an interesting
Can you remove hills so you can build a base on some level ground, and if so, can the AI do that? Terraforming, I think, is an interesting question, and it's something we're exploring, but it's not kind of part of the core gameplay thing. The main reason for having the variable terrain is, if you look at a lot of these games, when you place a building, sometimes you want to flatten some stuff out, have some plans for that. And then also for, when big nukes hit, you could potentially have some terrain go away. And then when asteroids or planets smack together, destruction there.
Yeah,
right?
I like those ideas.
Like, I don't know, did you see the demo I did where I took an entire planet and just like carved it out so that it was like half a planet with like big giant crater?
Right, yeah.
Stuff like that.
That would be fun.
It's certainly going to be possible to build units that do terraforming. Whether we make it part of the core gameplay experience or not, I think is an open question.
Right.
I definitely expect the engine to be able to do it, though, because we use it in certain places.
You could turn it into a construction game, just build a bunch of bulldozers and...
Yeah, you pretty much could. I'll talk more about the terrain system in the future, but I really tried to come up with something different than other games do, and I think it is different. So
yeah.
Let's see.
Will you be able to communicate with AI allies? I did that for the Supreme Commander, no, not Supreme Commander, it was Forged Alliance mod. Actually, you could give commands to the AI. I mean, it wasn't it was a mod, so I was limited what I could do. But I don't know. It's definitely on my mind of things to possibly do for this game, to be able to, hey, you go here, I'll go here, or you set up a base over here or whatever. I mean, it'd be kind of nice, but
But one thing we will have is different styles of AI that they can select in the lobby, and that kind of gives you some of that control too.
Yes.
And I'm assuming people will probably be able to customize those.
Yeah. If you select like a turtling style AI, I mean, yeah, it's going to turtle more than the normal, but.
So, will the AI become more aggressive or more relaxed upon events that happen within the planet, e.g. destruction of a major base? It's probably not aggressiveness. It's more like, if you take out a major base and his resources go way down, he'll have to basically look at his current strategic options. So I would argue probably wouldn't be more aggressive in that case.
It'd probably be less aggressive, yeah.
Will the environment be destructible? Yes, that's kind of what I was talking about with all that stuff.
Forest fires.
Yeah, definitely forest fires. Definitely trees that block small units.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
To me, that's something I would like to have. Will they be able to harvest gas clouds as a resource in Galactic Conquest? It's not really a part of Galactic Conquest mode, it's a part of the gas giant stuff. The idea is we'll have this fusion reactor that sits in orbit in a gas giant with a tube that goes down, sucking. It's basically, think about it, I've said this before, it's like a turbocharger for a fusion reactor. So, picture like a normal fusion reactor, but it's in orbit and it's got this big tube that sucks up helium-3 and just gives you massive amounts of energy.
Nice.
It's kind of the idea there. So, yeah, it basically is gas cloud harvesting. Go read the John Ringo's Troy Rising Live Free or Die series if you want to read where some of the inspiration for that comes from.
Nice.
Pretty cool stuff. Will you delve into esports aspects of many RTS games? As people who pay attention to the forum have seen, we have a really heavy engine emphasis, almost a ridiculous emphasis on replays,
right,
and the ability to scrub back and do instant replays and stuff. The kind of example I always use is, there's two examples I use. One is, imagine having a button that skips you back 10 seconds and then plays the game at double rate or triple rate until you catch up, so you can kind of see what you missed.
Right.
And then the other piece would be, if you have a unit corpse, click on it and say, show me how this died, and pop open a little window that shows you what was going on around that unit when it died. Those are the kinds of things that are being enabled with the tech we're developing, and I hope that works out. But I think it will. It's pretty cool stuff. And scrubbing backwards, I think, is going to be.
I mean, the stuff that we've got already is
it
pretty impressive. So.
Yeah, it does that now. Okay, let's take some more AI questions here. There seems to be quite a few now.
Will the AI be able to relearn after each patch? Actually, I hope it shouldn't have to, honestly. If it's just a balance patch or whatever, it really shouldn't need to. Because it's all stats. I mean, if you change the balance of the game, then the AI is going to use the units differently just because the numbers you're feeding into the neural network are going to be different.
What is the biggest weapon you can use short of a planetoid? I think it's called the Maver. No, just kidding. It's a good question. I mean, there's definitely nukes. There might be something in between. Can an AI ambush a unit? What is the definition of ambush? I mean, sure it can if it runs into it randomly. And
Sure. I mean, will it plan it that way?
Probably not.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea yet.
Can the AI have a professional difficulty? I think that's the equivalent of being.
What would be the professional difficulty?
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to have full map vision and all that kind of stuff? I mean, if we go the Supreme Commander level of things, I mean, you could turn the AI up into ridiculous levels where you would have a hard time doing a 3v1 against it. But I mean,
so important question here: can you use the AI in a private match to practice against? And the answer is.
I don't see why not.
Of course, right? I mean, that's kind of the point of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that just want to play skirmish. They don't want to play competitively.
Actually, I think a vast majority of people would rather just play against the AI, honestly. Taunts. Somebody wants the AI to taunt.
I think that's within the realm of possibility.
I would certainly enjoy it.
Can the AI learn to exploit your weaknesses over the course of a few games? Probably not, right? I mean, it's one of those things that sounds good on paper, but...
Yeah, when you try to get into having, the AI learn strategic elements and that sort of thing, that becomes incredibly difficult. You're talking about a vast amount of information that you're wanting the AI to be able to process, and I don't see it. I really don't. Could we have the AI learn out, update its neural networks in the field? Possibly. I mean, that's in the realm of possibility.